Humbucker magnets are pretty similar to the Alnico rod pole piece magnets, but obviously these are bar magnets, not rod pole pieces. But like the Alnico, when we first get it, there's no magnetism in these magnets. They're kind of like pre-magnets waiting to get magnetized. And that happens over here to my right using a machine called, oddly enough, a magnetizer. And here Nacho is putting the magnetism into the magnets. Behind me, Imelda, another 10-year employee of Seymour Duncan, is preparing bottom plates for humbuckers. So this is the beginning of the humbucker process. This winding machine is called the George Stevens, and it's currently being used to wind SH2N Jazz model necks, one of our most popular neck model humbuckers. Whether it's a single coil or a humbucker, one of the most important processes in the manufacture of the pickup is taking those hair-thin wires that's wrapped around the coil and terminating them or hooking them up to bigger wires that can either be used in the internal hookup of the pickup, or they can be attached to the cables that you, as the end user, would be soldering into your guitar. Here you can see Sandra taking the leads that are coming off of a humbucker bobbin and attaching them to the wires that will be used in the internal hookup of the pickup. Now we're going to see how a pickup is constructed. This is a zebra humbucker. You've got a stud side bobbin and a screw side bobbin. An Alnico bar magnet goes in between them. A metal spacer goes on the screw side, and a black plastic spacer goes on the stud side. And then a bottom plate goes onto the pickup. And then Laura's going to take 4 little brass screws and she'll attach the bottom plate to the rest of the pickup. And when she's done, it looks pretty much like a humbucking pickup. Almost all Seymour Duncan pickups, with the exception of the Seth Lever and the Antiquity model, go through a wax potting process. That's what you're seeing right here. The pickup goes into a wax pot that's filled with molten mixture of paraffin and beeswax. It's also a vacuum chamber which causes the wax to permeate all the way to the very center of the coil. This has 2 strong benefits. One, it protects the pickup by replacing any air pockets with wax. Air contains oxygen, and oxygen can cause the copper wire to corrode over time. The other thing that this does is it kind of dampens the pickup by preventing any subcomponent of the pickup, like a screw or a magnet, from resonating at a different frequency than the rest of the pickup. This is especially important when you're playing in high gain situations, when you've got your amp totally cranked, you're grooving, you've got the greatest tone that's coming out of your guitars, but you don't want to get that squealing microphonic, the kind of feedback that makes people put their hands over their ears. Well, thanks to wax potting, that doesn't happen. The pickup is squeal-free, and it'll last the lifetime of your guitar. After the pickups come out of the wax pot, well, they're covered with wax. So to get the wax off, we use real human beings, in this case, Sylvia and Maria, and some lint-free cloths, and they wipe the wax off the outside of the pickup. But they want to keep as much wax on the inside of the pickup as possible. It's labor-intensive, but it's the best way to clean the wax off the pickup. Lately, we've gotten very serious about active pickups, and our new Blackouts line of pickups has kind of created a huge storm in the world of musical instruments. Like a lot of the passive pickups, Blackouts also use a coil of wire, a magnet, but in addition, it's got a battery-powered preamp which is used to shape the sound of the pickup. We've got them for 6, 7, and 8-string guitars, in humbucker and single coil formats. We've got regular Blackouts, we've got metal Blackouts, the brand new Mick Thompson empty model, and we have blackouts for bass. And it all happens right here on the blackouts line. After the blackouts get put into these covers right here, they need to get filled up with epoxy. That epoxy will protect the pickup. It'll allow you to play at really high gain situations, and the pickup will sound great. There'll be no squealing or microphonic feedback, and it'll last for the life of your guitar. One of our really popular new pickups is the P-Rails. It's a full-size humbucker replacement, but when you split it, you actually split it to a real deal P90 sound. So you can get the sound of a soap bar P90 and a full-size humbucker. So unique pickup, it's only available from Seymour Duncan, and here's where they're made. Once the two coils are hooked up and assembled into the bottom plate, it looks kind of like this. Then it'll get a cover put on it, and that'll look like this. And this is pretty much what a P-Rails will look like when it's installed in your guitar. I'm really glad you guys are here to see this. It's a really fun pickup to make. It's the lipstick tube pickups. We make them for Stratocaster replacements. In this case, this is a replacement for old Dan Electros or Silvertone or Harmony guitars. You know, the guitars that came in the Sears catalog and the Montgomery Ward's catalog. Very popular today. There's no bobbin. The pickup gets wound directly onto the magnet. They get wrapped up in different types of tape and actually put into the lipstick tubes. Not only are we fanatics about the materials that go into our pickups and the way they're manufactured, we're also fanatics about the quality of our pickups. And quality control is a big part of the production process. Actually, there's quality control that's built in at every step of the process, but what we see here is some specific quality control techniques. For instance, Rosa behind me is testing the phase of the pickups. This is for humbucker pickups to make sure that they were wound and wired correctly so that they'll sound right when they're in your guitar. In this process, the thing you're looking for is after she hooks it up, a red or a green LED will turn on. If it's green, it means it's phased properly. This is one of the final parts of the quality control process. Maria behind me, or we like to call her Kuka, 20-year employee, she does a lot of different checks on the pickup. Right now, she's checking the DC resistance of the pickup to make sure it's within a plus or minus 5% tolerance. She'll also check the inductance of the pickup. She'll do a physical inspection of the pickup to make sure there's no cosmetic imperfections. She'll check the magnetic Gauss strength and polarity of the pickup to make sure the magnet's in properly. And when it's all done, the pickup will pass here and then it will go over to packing. Right before the pickups go to packing, we do a final cosmetic check on them to make sure there's no imperfections. Sometimes a little piece of wax will still be on the pickup. Sometimes if there's a minor imperfection, we can buff it out. But there's a lot of time and effort that goes into making sure that each pickup looks just right. Once the pickups have finally completed their journey, they're ready to get packed up and put into boxes. Angelica behind me is putting blackouts into boxes that are going to go to music stores all over the world.